can I say? It's um, it's a newfangled thing. I certainly embraced it, and it gave birth to a great romance. And we didn't even have to be in the same room. Who would have known that a deep love could blossom between one man 4,000 miles away on a MacBook Pro and another man on his Dell? You know, there are still people out there in this modern day and age that would dispute such a union, but let me tell you, both brands are compatible. True, our Skyped images came to each other slightly distorted, but he assured me that it agreed with me. It all began about a year ago in the old fashioned way, face to face, in Dublin City, the airport, to be exact. Such a disappointing last day. My 2 weeks of Irish crack and hospitality had been life changing, but before I left, I had an itch to scratch. Being an American, I wanted to learn just how rich my Irish heritage was. So, you can probably imagine how shocked I was to discover that the family bloodline came up a big fat zero for Irishness. Mr. Frowley, the man at the Heritage Center, said my father's surname was Steinberg and my mother's maiden name, Holsten Aramovich. Should have been a clue. I had 4 hours to kill before a flight, and so I took relief from the frustration of my day in the airport restaurant bar. And that is when I first saw him waiting on tables. Young Brian Brendan O'Brien. To be waited on by a man who quietly sings to himself as he works. And his own composition, too, I would later learn. And from that day on, this talented singer-songwriter would be burdened with the pet name of singer-song waiter. As Brian continued to work the tables, he saw my glances and I saw him smile. I love to flirt. It is my favorite sport. But when I mind giving fellatio to a chocolate eclair in his direction, the cold response made me realize that I had a serious problem. But still, he joined me on his lunch break, and very quickly we opened our hearts to each other. I learned about how difficult it was to achieve success in the competitive Dublin singer-songwriter scene, and he learned about my painting and the artistic struggles I face, like how when I pose for a self-portrait, I go into fits of uncontrollable giggles every time I ask myself to sit still. But my flight was at 5, and at 4:20 we kissed goodbye, and a deal was struck. The very next day, I set up a Skype account, and our relationship began. Now, a Skype relationship is not like the everyday relationship. I mean, for one, it does not have to painstakingly build. Maybe it is the great distance, but for whatever reason, it is much easier to make affirmations you would not normally dare to. By the third night, we had confessed our love for each other. And with each call, we became closer and closer, and naturally, we did things for each other, many things. And one evening, he posed as I drew a Skype portrait of him, and then later he sang a love song he had written especially for me. I've got a boyfriend, the jeans he wears are Wrangler. He's oh so cute, And he looks like the guy from Ghostbusters, Egan Spangler. It got heavy very fast, and some weekends a single call would last up to 10 to 12 hours at a time. We'd listen to music together, we'd bitch about the days that we had just had, and we'd even cook and eat together. I'm sure it meant that because of the time difference, I was having chicken carbonara for breakfast, but who cares when it is quality time with your lover? Our Skype record was a 20-hour marathon call. It started early in the day with what was supposed to be a quick hello and ended with me waking up on the keyboard to the sound of him across the sea snoring for Ireland. Oh, Justin, forget the world, we have each other, he said to me, and now let's go get the approval of our parents. Mom and Dad, I love them. How could I not? I'm full of the love they gave me. God bless their soft, liberal hearts. I still remember the day they told me that I was a homosexual. Still, such a big deal it is to have the person you love dine out with your parents. But no. How could I even doubt them? From the moment Brian appeared on the screen in the restaurant, he was like a son to them. They adored him. The conversation flowed. Even Brian's little joke about him getting the tip went down a treat. Sunday dinner with the O'Briens of Cabra, Dublin, Ireland. Brian's parents had never even heard of Skype, let alone the internet or manners. When my image appeared on the screen before them, they asked Brian to change the channel. After an excruciatingly quiet dinner, Brian's mother chastised me for not touching my food. Still, I suppose we had achieved what we had set out to do. First contact had been established. What happened next rocked me to the core. No contact for weeks. Well, at least 12 hours, but it felt like weeks, and he said he was having trouble with his internet connection. And I said, does a ventriloquist take a shit for his dummy? I was upset. I didn't know what the hell I was saying. He turned his laptop away from him. Don't you dare turn me around, mister. He turned his laptop back and said the immortal words, I need some space. I was stunned. Space? I pleaded with him, okay, from now on when you Skype, I'll go into the other room. It was not enough. He said that he had to go. That was our first and last falling out. Such an anticlimax. The relationship, not my story. I called him repeatedly over the next few days and got no answer, and then finally he got back to me. He told me it had to end because he no longer had the time. His second life wife had just had a baby, and he wanted to see what it was like to settle down and lead a regular heterosexual life. And that was it. Sorry. Sorry, what was I saying to Oh, yeah, my advice, sir, would be that if you are looking to Skype, this laptop is really everything you need. But please don't have a love affair like I did. I mean, come on, how could he do such a thing? Break up with me over the internet. It's just, it's just so damn impersonal.